Welcome to A Cup of Compassion, sponsored by the Show Me Hope Crisis Counseling Program and the Center for Trauma Informed Innovation at Truman Medical Centers. I'm Kreasha Williams, a Special Project Coordinator from the Center for Trauma Informed Care. Today's Cup of Compassion highlights laughter. I'll share the mental and physical benefits of this very common human reaction that we all experience from time to time, that today we're calling it laughter. Today's presentation will end with a brief practice that I hope will serve as a tool or a resource for you to use in this very present moment. Please note that the information shared during today's session is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical or behavioral health advice, treatment, or diagnosis. Always seek the advice of your physician or a qualified health professional if you have any questions regarding a medical concern. If you have questions regarding today's session, you may leave them in the comment section in the video, and I'll respond to them by or up to November 6, 2020. Let's begin. For the past 3 weeks, we've been adding healthy ingredients to the makings of what I choose to call a good old-fashioned cup of compassion. This particular recipe promotes self-care. So here's what we have thus far. We have a cup of compassion. The very first week we added, life hacks. How to hack into your neurochemicals to improve well-being. So we add that to our cup of compassion, and then we followed up with the ingredient of soothing basic breath meditation. So a mindfulness meditation practice that focused on breathing, a basic breath meditation. We added that to our mix. And then we followed up with journaling through transition. This is a very healthy ingredient. And today we'll add laughter. How to incorporate laughter so that we can help relieve the stress that we're currently experiencing. During this present time, it is not uncommon to feel stressed out by life, to feel the weight of uncertainty. One can easily and quite naturally feel overwhelmed by the thought of functioning outside of their normal, functioning outside of a routine that was once comfortable for them. And now they have to put uncertain times, a new way of thinking, a new way of working, fit that all into a plan that was never designed for them to work in. That can be difficult to navigate for some and can cause stress. Truth is, life right now can be a bit challenging. Truth is, life is pretty stressful, and this is a stressful time. As the younger generation likes to put it, the struggle is real. What's also real and valid are studies that reveal how stress activates our sympathetic nervous system, the fight, flight, and freeze stress response. In each instance, we are faced with a potential threat, and that threat may look differently for everyone. The threat can come in the form of job uncertainty or income uncertainty, or I don't even know what the next month will hold for my family or for school. That can pose a threat for a lot of people. And living in that threat, or when faced with that threat of uncertainty, we stress out. Stress activates our fight, flight, and freeze stress response. So our minds and our bodies will either go into one or two areas. According to Kendra Cherry, who wrote the article, A Very Well Mind, she says that we will either deal with the stress, however we deal with it, or we will either avoid the stress or the problem, however we choose to avoid that. Nonetheless, our bodies, our natural responses are kicked in to find a way to cope in that present moment the best way that we know how. It is a known fact that adverse stress, that stress adversely affects us mentally and physically. Some common symptoms of stress include headaches, like the physical symptoms, headaches, and sometimes some people may have gastrointestinal issues or complication. Some people may have chest pain. Our mental functioning is compromised and can become very complicated. Mood problems will come about, and we are all of a sudden we realize that that filter that we once had on our emotional responses is now gone, and we're saying and acting and reacting without a filter, leading or enhancing the behavioral concerns, all because of stress, right? That's normal. That's real. And for some, that's where we are right in this present moment. Over the past 7 months, we've been reminded, or I particularly have been reminded, of how important self-care practice really is. And I found it very helpful, and I'm very grateful for all of the new methods that I've learned, all of the research or the articles that I've read to try new things in different ways, new practices that I probably would not have tried otherwise. In the past 7 months, I have tried different things, and I was grateful. But if I can be transparent in this very moment, I quickly became immune to those self-care practices. And my immunity looked like, I really don't have time for this, or I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll do it later. And for Kreasha, later or tomorrow really didn't come when I thought it would. And so that was another day of living in stress, functioning in stress, trying to navigate my life through stress. It wasn't until recently when I experienced a moment that produced a laugh, right? And so I had not experienced this kind of laugh in a very, very, very long time. I mean, it was that deep belly, can't catch your breath, tears running down your face kind of laugh. That kind of laugh that when you're finished, what seems like after hours, when you're finished laughing, all you can do is, oh my goodness, that was so funny. Or just, well, when I had that moment and I experienced that laugh, and I came to the, that was so funny, I needed that moment. It was then that I realized that I had become so consumed by everything and everybody's everything that I forgot to laugh. I forgot to allow positivity to come in so that I can be at my best, even if I had to be at my best for someone else. I was consumed with the conditions and the elements, everything around me. I stopped making room for the positive, and life became difficult for me. It was difficult for me to see what was right, and I was fixated upon what was wrong. What's wrong with my day? What's wrong with my job? What's wrong with these people? What's wrong with my decision? What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? I fixated on that. And if I can just be transparent still, I kind of thrived off of that. And once I realized that after the laugh, it was like I needed to make room for that. So here's where it becomes important to implement self-care. If you're like me, or if you find yourself currently in a state where I was, and you're fixating on the negative, and it's very difficult to find anything positive that's going on right now, I invite you to tap into self-care practices, whatever that means for you. It may not be laughter for you, but tap into whatever helps that will help ground you or return you back to your sense of calm. It's important to do that. So research also indicates that when we start to laugh, Laughter doesn't just lighten our load mentally and physically, it actually induces physical changes, like literal physical changes in our body. And I'm sure you may know this, but let's review it. It stimulates our organs. Laughter, when we laugh, it enhances our oxygen rich airflow, right? And that airflow stimulates our heart, our lung, and it increases those endorphins, right? The dopamine and the serotonin levels get to moving and it gets to balancing itself out again. And we make room, we metabolize that negative energy, and we have made room to receive the positive, right? And so those chemicals get to going, and we are laughing and we are at peace for that present moment. That's what laughter does. Laughter activates and relieves our stress response. I was happy to learn that when we laugh, it fires up and cools down our stress response. And this is what that means. So it increases and decreases our heart rate and our blood pressure simultaneously. And that produces that good, relaxed feeling after we've had that laugh that we so needed, or that smile that we so needed, or that opportunity to have felt connected that we so needed. Laughter soothes tension. It improves our immune system. It relieves pain for some, and it ultimately improves our mood. Like I mentioned before, this may not be new information to you, but hopefully it serves as a reminder to make room. If you have found yourself in a state of negativity, difficulty trying to find anything positive, difficulty smiling, even at least, if you found yourself in that state, I invite you to tap into, again, whatever works for you. Take a walk outside and smile while you're doing it. Enjoy the sun on your face and smile while you're doing it. Reach out to a friend that can make you smile and ultimately laugh. And you can, that just improves us mentally and physically, it gets our organs to go in, and we are at a better self. We are at a better Kreasha. I'm at a better Kreasha. You're at a better you. And we can function just a little, we can go that extra step, and we can function just a little bit better in that present moment. So I'm going to give you some suggestions or ways to help promote laughter. And if any of these resonate with you, then I encourage you to try any of these, and they may be fun for you. So incorporate humor in your atmosphere. So put humor in your or on your horizon. That could be in the form of a funny photo on your desk or on your phone, something that you can access quickly and look at and trigger your mind or remind your brain to get out of that state, let that negative energy go, to receive and accept something positive in this moment to trigger a different response. So put humor on your horizon or put it in your atmosphere. Laughter yoga. I've never attended, I've never experienced this practice before, but I did have the pleasure of watching it. And all laughter yoga is, for those who don't know, people are getting together to practice laughter as a group. And the laughter seems forced at first, but it soon becomes spontaneous, and people in the class were laughing, and I found myself laughing at the people in the class. But it created such a tension relief for me, and it definitely helped to relieve the stress, even though I wasn't present in the room. You can also connect with a friend that brings you joy, a friend that can make you smile. Reach out and read or get a book that is humorous, or a book that is not serious, and read the book or read an article that intentionally shifts your mind and your mindset to something positive. Those are just a few helpful suggestions that you can try if you're not already trying, or you may have your own that you would like to share, definitely feel free to put that in the comment box and we can share it with all. So we have come down to the point where I would like to share my practice with you. This is a very brief practice, and I hope that it will serve as a tool. So I encourage you and I invite you, if you would like, to get into a comfortable position. And when you have found that position, just take 2 deep breaths. Slow down and pause. Take 2 deep breaths and allow your mind to become clear as it can be. And we'll start our practice. So when we start the practice, I want you to keep in mind reaching out to a friend or even telling yourself a joke. And as you do that, remember that you're trying to create laughter. So here's my practice for you. Simply a joke. What time did the man go to the dentist? Pause, think about it, and the answer is tooth hurty. That was funny to me, right? It may not have been funny to you, but I promise you it probably generated a smile or a chuckle in someone. Look at the animals laughing. They even thought it was funny. Look at the people in the image. They even thought it was funny. And I have my imaginary friends clapping it up because for them in that present moment, they were able to relieve a little stress, relieve a little tension, pause in their day to forget about what was so heavy and at least smile or even laugh. My last practice that I want to leave with you today is, well, let me just kind of set up the stage before we go to the image or the slide. Today, October 1st, 2020 is National Hair Day. And when I learned that, I was just like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I immediately went back in my mind of some hairstyles that I used to have. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool to share with someone else? Because someone else may be able to resonate or remember or relate to some of the things that you're about to see on the screen. Whether you can relate to them or not, whether you think it's funny or not, take a look at the pictures. Allow a smile to come on your face, or go a step further and allow the laughter to come up and simply remove that negative, stressful, tension, whatever your body may be experiencing in this present moment. Allow yourself permission to at least smile and hopefully laugh. Today, National Hair Day 2020. Those are some, yeah, I don't know. Maybe you've had some of those hairstyles. Maybe you're planning on getting some of those hairstyles, going to your beautician or your hairdresser just to get some of those styles. Those are pretty cool to me. They're also pretty funny to me. So the whole point of today is just to remember to make room, set time aside to pause. And during that pause, allow positivity in, to make room for a smile and to make room to laugh. Friendly reminder, simply laugh. Thank you for joining us today. We hope this practice will serve as a tool to support your well-being during this time. I invite you to join us again next Thursday, 12:30 Central, for another cup of compassion right here on YouTube Live. If you would like counseling, our crisis counseling support, please call 816-404-2222. For immediate care, as you see on the slide, please call the Disaster Distress Helpline at 800-985-5990, or feel free to text Talk With Us to 66746. Thank you again for joining us, and take good care.